Bakit?
Okay, so we're back. Just hold a minute. I'm going to share with you this slide. Okay, so we're back. And we are just talking about answering our questions, our quiz. So where is Joy? Joy can continue. What is the physiology about? Joy, Joy is here.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm here now.
Okay, so what is physiology, Joy?
Refers to functions of the body.
Okay, so we have known anatomy is the structure and the physiology refers to the function of the body. And what does it mean by a medical terminology? So Romelda. Nawala yung signal mo, no, Romelda.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah, okay. Continue. A medical
Terminology is the
means?
language of the medicine.
Okay.
It's the language of the medicine.
Okay. So everybody knows that when we talk about medical terms or medical terminology, we are talking about the language of the medicine. It is all about the medical terminologies. So we have 11 systems of the human body. So can you give us the 3 or 4? Where is Yilma? Yilma,
Yeah,
can
I'm here.
you
Hello.
Yilma.
Yes.
Yes, can you give us the 4 of the 11 systems of the body, of the human body?
Okay. Integumentary system,
Okay.
skeletal system, muscular system,
Okay.
endocrine system.
Okay, that's good. So the rest of the systems of the human body, yeah. Can you just give the 3, Jennifer? The remaining 3, we have 11, so she has given 4. You don't have the sound, Jennifer.
Sorry.
Okay, fine.
It is muted. Sorry, ma'am. Urinary, digestive, nervous, endocrine. There's more? More,
Endocrine.
ma'am? Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So the rest or the remaining of these 11, can you share with us, Teresa? Tisay.
Yes, ma'am. Cardiovascular system,
Okay.
circulatory system, we have respiratory system and the reproductive system. 4.
Okay, so those are the 11 systems of the human body. So I'm just so happy that with this interaction, so everybody participated and I'm just happy for you and I thank you for that. Okay, so you are all good enough. I mean, you can answer written and the oral. Okay, so now this is all we have done with anatomy and physiology. We will go forward with the medical terminologies. Thank you so much for the exam, for the quiz, and you have passed it all. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm going to change the slide for the medical terminologies. Okay, just give me some time. Just hold on, hindi ako makapasok. Just hold on. Just a minute. Mine is disabled for a while. I cannot screen share. Sandali lang, naghihintay ako to share my screen. Naka-disable ako. San si Ma'am Yong? Sandali lang, naka-disabled yung screen ko, ma'am. I cannot share my screen. Hold on, hold on. Sandali, nakalimutan yata ako ni ma'am. Sandali po, just waiting. Wala bang intermission?
Okay po.
Walang kakanta?
Wala.
Kanta muna po ako.
Walang
Ayan, sige. Sino marunong kumanta? Sige, magbigay yung marunong ng
Kanta po muna,
boses.
President. President po.
Ha? Yung may magandang boses.
President po.
Ayan na, buti na lang.
President po.
Buti na lang nandyan na, okay na. Save
So,
by
talaga? Merong kakanta? So, okay.
Si Mr. President.
Save it for the next time.
Next time, nandyan na. Save by the ano.
You are saved by the bell. So anyway, you can see now the slide share. nakikita nyo na ba sa slide, yung slide?
Po.
Okay. So, we go with the basics of medical terminology. Makinig kayong mabuti kasi it's a little bit hard or difficult ang mag-form ng medical terminology. So, let's go forward with this medical terminology. Na-share ba sa inyo itong lesson na to? Na-share sa inyo to? Naibigay ba sa inyo? Wala? Meron?
Po sure, ma'am.
Hindi po.
Okay. So this is the basics of medical terminology. Okay? So as a nursing or a nursing aid student, it is very important for you to learn medical terminology. Why? Because learning medical terminology basics will help you better understand and comprehend the material you read for nursing or the nursing aid course. So students will have a deeper understanding of medical terms, and you will be able to answer test questions on exam more efficiently. So there are so many medical terms that it is impossible to memorize them all. So we cannot memorize them all. It is written as in the guideline that it is difficult for every one of us or impossible for every one of us to memorize them all. So what we are going to do is form it. We will form a medical terminology accordingly. Okay, so what it requires, for a medical terminology to be completed or to be formed, we need the following. Medical terms are derived from word parts. There must be a root word. So the best method of improving your medical terminology, of the knowledge of your medical terminology, is to understand how those word parts form the medical terms. So we need to have a word root or a root word for a medical terminology to be formed. Once you have that basic understanding, you can memorize the parts and be able to understand the meaning of any medical term. So the parts that form medical terms, it includes, one, we have the word roots or the root words. So prefixes are the starting or the before. We are putting prefixes in front or before a root word. Suffixes is after the word, after the root word, and the combining vowels are in between. That is the O. O is the combining vowels. These parts have their origin in Greek and Latin. So below are some information on different word parts to help you begin to build a foundation for a medical vocabulary. An important tool to have is a good medical vocabulary. So we have to form it. And by forming, we will have a good medical dictionary. So we have four. We have four medical terms to include to form a medical word, a medical term. Okay, going forward, so we have number one is the word root. The word root is the main body of the word. So it is called a root word or a word root. And it helps with the fundamental meaning of the word. So the word root will usually, but not always, refer to the body systems, organs, anatomy, diagnosis, and medical procedures. A medical term can have more than one root. So we will always use the example, or we will use the example word. So read with me. Read it for yourself now, or read it all together. The esophagogastroduodenoscopy. It's a long term, right? And it's tongue twisting.
Esophagogasto.
Sting.
Yes.
Okay? Okay. Okay.
Scoopy.
So who find it easy?
Mahirap ah.
My God.
Did anybody found it easy? So it is difficult, right? But if you're going to
No,
form,
ma'am.
huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, if you are going to form it as in from the scratch, as in from the root word, you are going to form this way. So that's why, as it is mentioned, it is difficult or it is impossible for you to memorize. It is impossible, right? So by the time of your practice, that's the time you will be able, if you are going to
ma'am.
talk it most commonly or most regularly, you can, even without memorizing, you can be able to talk it in an easy way. So the suffix oscopy and the combining vowel O will be covered below. So let's see the example below. How does this esophagogastroduodenoscopy form? This is a word root. Check on what are the word roots here. Okay, because it said the medical term is going to be formed is starting with a word root. So the word root in esophagogastroduodenoscopy are, we have number 1, esopag. Esopag refers to esophagus. Okay? The line between the mouth and the pharynx is the esophagus. So it's a root word, esopag. Second is gastro. Gastro is another root word, means it's stomach. And the root word for duodenum, it's the small intestine. And the last one is the suffix. You have to add suffix, the oscopy. It refers to the test or it refers to the viewing. Okay? And to add the combining vowels in between, the O. Okay? So you can form a word, a medical term of, to continue it. So you will form a medical term. Esophagogastroduodenoscopy. Right? So it's simple, right? So it became simple because we know how to form it in a medical term. So this is how we are going to form a medical term. It's not about how we are going to memorize because it is impossible. You memorize this and you will get, your brain is going to bulge or it's going to explode. Okay? So this is the example of a word root. Number 2, we have the prefixes. The prefixes. The prefix is placed before the word root. So it is in front or before. Before the word root is prefix. Prior, before. Okay? So we are going to form a term, a medical term, that we will be using a prefix. So a prefix is placed before the word root to modify or vary the meaning. So you will find that when the prefix is written, detached, it is commonly followed by a hyphen. It's normally, there is a hyphen. You know what is hyphen, right? In between the two words, it connects the two words. So the prefix means excessive or higher or more than the normal. So in the example below, the prefix hypo with the hyphen means below or lower than normal. So you must know what exactly the meaning of the prefix you are going to put to combine in a word root. So the word root is volemia. Volemia means volume of plasma in the body, or the condition of the volume of plasma in the body. So we are going to form now with the prefix, a medical term with a prefix. Prefix, as we remember, it is in front. We will place it before a root word. So now the example below shows hyper is the prefix. Hyper means high, right? So
Yes.
the volume is the root word. Volume of plasma. So if we will form it together to make it a medical term, hypervolemia. This is a medical term. So right now, we are already formed a prefix with hypervolemia. So this is the prefix now. Hyper is put before the word root, and hyper is a term for higher than the normal or more than the normal. So we have the hypervolemia, which means excessive or higher than normal volume of plasma in the body. So second example is hypo. We are going to put again hypo as the prefix or before the root word. So hypo means below or lesser volume of the plasma, or the lesser volume of the plasma, or hypovolemia. So hypovolemia below is the lower than result, or the lower than normal volume of the plasma in the body. So we have formed now a prefix. So you know how to form now a prefix, right? Pre and the root word. That is the prefix before a root word. Going forward, we have the suffix. So when we are talking about the suffix, it is placed at the end of a word root. So this time, we are going to put a suffix after a word root. So this is placed at the end of the word. So at the end of a word root. So it is to modify or vary the meaning. So suffixes can indicate a condition, disease, or a procedure. When a suffix is written detached, it is preceded by a hyphen. The same thing with our prefix. There is a hyphen that connects the two words. Okay, so the same thing with the suffix with the hyphen and the word root. So this indicates that another word part precedes it. In the example below the suffix, itis. Our suffix here is itis. Itis means inflammation or infection. Whenever you heard a disease with itis at the end, or itis is the suffix, it means there is an infection or there is an inflammation of a disease. So in the example below of the itis, it means inflammation. And with the suffix is oscopy, escopy means observation, visualization, or examination. So the root word or the word root here is gastri. It pertains to the stomach. Okay, so our example below is the root word is the gastri, and we put the suffix at the end, which is itis, and combine it together with a hyphen. It's called gastritis. It's the inflammation of the lining of the stomach. So you know now the root word is gastro. It means stomach. And you put the suffix of the itis, it means inflammation or infection. So combine together to make to form a word, to form a medical term. It's called gastritis. So the same thing with your pneumonia. What is pneumonia? Pneumonia is a root word for the lungs. Pneumonia is the disease in the lungs. You put an itis at suffix. pneumonitis. So it is the inflammation of the lungs or the infection of the lungs. Okay? Hepa. Hepa means liver. You add suffix of itis and it's called hepatitis. So it's the infection or inflammation of the liver. Hepa means liver. Okay? So this is all what it's about. So the other example here is about gastri. Gastro is the stomach. And you put the suffix of escopy. Escopy means viewing, or escopy means exam or test. So the patient is going to have gastroscopy with the middle vowel, combining vowel of O. Gastreoscopy. So there is a combining vowel to form a medical term with the suffix. So gastreoscopy. Okay? So this is the suffixes. Going forward, we have the continuing combining vowel. So the combining vowel is usually an O. So we have learned about the vowels in our English alphabet, right? A, E, I, O, U. So here, we are using only most of the time the combining vowel of O. So the combining vowel is usually an O. So which is often inserted between a word roots to make a word easier to pronounce. Combining vowel usually connects the word, one word root to another word root, and also connects a word root to a suffix. The combining vowel does not modify or vary the meaning. When a word root is written with a combining vowel O, a forward slash is used. For the example below is given, esopag O, that is the combining vowel, or the gastre O, or the duoden O. Okay? So you will just only form a word or a medical term when you combine with O. So the example is esophagogastroduodenoscopy. So it is with combining O, with the prefix and the root word and the suffix. Okay, got it? Okay, so it's easy now, right? Okay, so now we are going to see this combining vowel here. The example is the gastroduodenoscopy. So as we can see, it is tongue twister, okay? So but if we will form with the root and the combining, so it will be formed in a complete medical term. So going forward, we have abbreviations. Abbreviations, it take the place of words to shorten notes or documentations. So they are abbreviations. Like for example, out of bed. So instead of talking about out of bed, you are just writing it or saying OOB. Out of bed is an abbreviation. Okay? So per orem, we are not telling as in per orem. The nurse will just tell you, or the doctor will just tell you, you tell the patient or inform or instruct the patient to have 8 p.m. PO, per orem, by mouth. PO is per orem is mouth, and per orem, by mouth. Okay? So the doctor or the nurse will not instruct you, or you are going to instruct your patients with the abbreviations, but explain it to them what exactly it means. Just like for example, NP, it is most commonly used abbreviation, NPO. You are telling your patients not to take any food. NPO, nothing per orem, or nothing to put in your mouth. Okay, N, no, nothing. P is per, by, orem is mouth. So nothing per mouth or nothing per orem, NPO. Okay, so when you are using abbreviations in patient care reports, remember to use only standard. So we have standard approved abbreviations internationally, and it is more than thousands, hundreds and thousands. So it's difficult for us to memorize them even. So we are just, taking on what is most common, and this common, it should be standard. It's standard in every facility, in every medical center, in every hospital. Internationally, when you go to US, to Europe, to Germany, or anywhere in the world, there is only one approved list of abbreviations. So the accepted abbreviations, we must use it to avoid confusion and errors. You don't do your own abbreviation just to shorten what you are going to document. So it is not accepted. So the least commonly used abbreviations, I'm going to send it to you through Miss Yong. I think si Ma'am Yong, I have given her already. So she is going to share it with you. The list is intended to help you decipher documents written by other healthcare professionals. Before using any abbreviations in your own reports, you should be familiar with accepted one or the accepted use of abbreviations in your local jurisdiction or services area. Okay? So all of these abbreviations that we are going to put in our documentations, or how we are going to pronounce them, or to say it, or to talk about it, to use it during our working place, during our working time, are only approved one. You don't make an abbreviation from yourself, or you do not make any, or you do not listen to any abbreviation that is not standard. So only use what is internationally accepted and approved abbreviations. Okay, there are helpful tips. So when you evaluate a medical term, begin at the end of the word with a suffix. So when you evaluate a medical term, like the hypovolemia, so you have to begin at the end of the word, okay, with the suffix. Learn the individual parts of the medical term instead of trying to learn individual words. Most every medical term has a suffix, most. So remember that the word roots gives the fundamental meaning of the word. So if you have the word root, you will know exactly what does it mean, or what does it explain. The combining vowel doesn't have a meaning, but it is used to connect more than one word root, or a word root and a suffix. Example, with our gastroduodenoscopy, that is multiple word root and a combining O. A prefix is in the front. Remember this, that prefix is in front, and a suffix is at the end. A combining vowel is in the middle. Okay, so these are the helpful tips, and we will come to know how we are going to form a medical term. As we say, it is impossible to memorize. Now, as I'm going to ask you if you already memorized the gastroduodenoscopy, can you memorize it at once? No. So you have to either, put it one by one word, one suffix, combining O and the suffix like this, with the word root, with the prefix, with the combining and the suffix, and you will come to form a medical term. Okay, so this is all about the medical term. And there are the table of the medical terms and the list of abbreviation which I sent. So I'm going, or Miss Young is going to send it to you. And please go back with it and try to review it. And then next time, we are going to have a little quiz about the medical terminologies. Okay, so for now, this is our lesson for today. And I hope that you have, you have learned more of the medical terms as we talk about it. So we have all, we have all the word roots. We have 4 of it, the word root. To make a medical term, we have the word root. Remember that we have the word root, we have the prefix, the suffix, and the combining O. And so with all of these abbreviations. Okay, so is there any questions with our medical terminologies? Did you follow, or you are already with a good memory of how to do it?
A question lang ma'am sa sa combining vowels.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, kung kung yung unang vowels po, yun na po yung lahat na in example po, yung combining vowels ng esophago, gastro, duodeno, gastric. Di ba OO po lahat? Yung una po is O. So it means on the next vowels, O din po ba? What if there's I? Tapos I din po ba lahat ang susunod? Ganon.
The most common, hindi ginagamit yung ibang AI, yung mga ganon. So they put para bang constant. So they have put O to make a vowel. Kaya constant vowel to put in between of the pre and the suffix. With the word root, the prefix and the suffix, they just put a constant combining vowel, yung O. They did not mention anything about combining an A or an I or an E. So it's all about O when combining a word to make a medical term. Okay, so they did not mention anything about except for the O. Okay, so when we are going to put a medical term, you remember only the constant O. Only its O. Okay?
Thank
you
you.
for that question. So it's enlightening. What else? So it is open. If you need to ask regarding anatomy and physiology or the basic medical terminologies, so this is just a wrap up now. We have done our quiz there. And this basic of medical terminologies, we're going to have a small quiz next week, or we're going to have like, even without the quiz, we are going to have the interaction or the active. This is the proactive and the active interaction between us. Just like an oral recitation. Okay, so I could get your ideas or the information that you are going to let everybody knows what is what you have learned from the subject that we have discussed for today. So is there anything more that you want to talk about? Because we already finished our lesson. We have completed our lesson, the anatomy and physiology right now. So if there is anything that you wanted to clarify more, if you wanted to bring out, or even subjects that is not, that is not in our lesson for today, so that we can discuss if you want to open up something. But this is all about the lessons.
Mom?
So I hope you learned. I hope that I have imparted you. Yes, Yilma?
Yeah. Are we going to have the slide tomorrow, or?
It should
To
be
print out?
maybe today, right after the